Alright guys, Tony the technician here. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to start working on the heads. Not necessarily porting them quite yet because I haven't got my my porting set in, which is just the cones of sandpaper and stuff that I'll actually use to port the heads. But we can go ahead and clean up the heads, get the old gasket and RTV off, and then we will determine which gaskets to use, because this has the passageway in the center. This does not. I already know I will be using these. The kit came with both, which is pretty nice, depending on the intake manifold that you use. My intake manifold does not have this passageway, so we do not need it. We will be using these. And if you look, I'm not too sure if you can tell, but the one without the passageway, the cutouts are actually bigger than the one without. So if you look at the back, you can see that the one with the passageway is actually a little bit smaller than the one I'll be using. Once I get the heads cleaned up, you take a couple bolts and you mount this on your head, and then you'll take up a permanent marker and you'll draw the outline of the size of gasket. This is port matching to your gasket. So we'll do that with both the intake manifold side and the exhaust side. And then once I have those drawn out, then as soon as my kit comes in to start porting, we can go ahead and start that. But today I'm just going to be cleaning up the heads, and then we'll be porting them, and then once I get done with the heads, get them reassembled, that's when I'll put it back on the engine and we can actually give the engine a nice new coat of paint. So that's what's up today. Alright guys, so I finished up with both heads, cleaning both the intake manifold sides and the rim for the valve cover gasket. Now I'm moving on to cleaning the bottoms of them like this, but I also noticed these ports here have some pretty jagged edges. These two have this little notch here. That one's not as bad, but I'm gonna go in and I'm going to just shave them down, get rid of them, make everything a little bit smoother. But that's what I'm doing now. In order to clean the bottom, once again, just a rag, scraper for this portion, and then in the actual combustion chamber I'll just use WD-40 and a rag, because I mean this stuff will come right off and she'll look like new again. Alright, that's what I'm doing now. Alright guys, so I just finished up going in and shaving down some of those ports. More lip like there was before. That one still got a little bit of a lip, but it's really thick right there, and I don't have an extension to get the rest of it right now. But they're much better than before. Now I gotta go through and vacuum everything up and wipe it down. But first, let's get this cleaned. Alright guys, so I've got a good bit cleaned on this head, but right now I'm just using my needle to go into the bolt holes and actually clean out the T-paste that was left from the head bolts. And after I get done getting the majority out with this, I'll go in with a little bit like this and just lightly clean out the holes. Not enough to grind off any metal or shave anything, just enough to get the rest of the T-paste out of the holes. And then I'm letting WD-40 sit on my valves before I wipe them down. Alright guys, so this is about as good as I could get it with the WD-40 and just using a rag. It got a lot of it off, but that one's done so far. This one, you can tell I still got to clean up. I haven't really started working on it yet compared to this one. But right now I'm actually going to just use some lacquer thinner. Saw a few videos on some guys that use it, and talked to a guy that's been using it for over 10 years to clean gunk out of engines and shit, and he said it doesn't hurt at all. So we're gonna try it. We're just gonna let some soak on each and see how it comes out. But wearing rubber gloves, gonna use just almost like a toothbrush, just the regular bristles, after I let it sit for a few minutes. So let's see how it comes out. Guys, so just got done cleaning out all the lacquer. I did a few coats on each, let it sit for about 10 minutes each, and scrubbed and everything, and then pulled it out. Now I'm doing a couple coats of engine degreaser and WD-40 to finish it up. Came out pretty well. I mean, it's not perfect, you know, but it came out pretty good. I'm happy with it. Just gonna do a few final touches on it, scrub it a little bit more, and then they'll be done, and then I can start the porting. But I just wanted to show you guys this my process for cleaning heads. So just to recap, I used WD-40 to begin, and cleaned where the actual gasket and everything was, and it works pretty well. And then I used a couple coats of engine degreaser in each combustion chamber, but it wasn't really working all that well. I mean, it worked a little bit, but not as good as I wanted it to. So then I went with a few coats of lacquer. You can get it at Walmart or anywhere for about $5 for a big old container. And just let it sit in there for about 10 minutes, scrub it with either a toothbrush or if you have these type of brushes. And it comes out really nicely. Got some stuff sitting in there, but as you can see, it cleaned it up pretty damn well. And then after I cleaned out the lacquer, just go back and hit it with some engine degreaser and then WD-40. And then before I'm done, I'm gonna hit a lot of stuff with a brake cleaner just to get that film of WD-40 off, because with the WD-40 nothing will stick to it like gaskets or paint. So if you're doing an area that either needs gasket or paint, make sure you clean it off very well. Thanks guys for watching. My next video should be the cylinder head porting.